And once again, good evening to each one of you to this edition of the KMA StartCon panel discussion series. Uh, we have not seen a very thick attendance so far. Maybe the Christmas season is beckoning and the institutes are also closed and people are also taking things on a different scale altogether. Anyway, it is indeed difficult to plan anything in these uncertain times, leave alone cricket or any Christmas or anything of that sort. Of course, KMA programs also will have its own difficulties. Thanks to these online platforms, at least we are able to pull on with these kind of situations. And KMA has been innovating for the past more than 10 months with the online platform and these kind of events which are happening. As you all know, we had our inaugural event actually last month, again on the Zoom platform itself. And thereafter, we have had 4 leader talk sessions. These were the lecture series done by decorated speakers with eminent leaders who have come this far were Naresh Kumar Pinisetti, Dr. Santosh Rangnekar, Dr. Shivarama Prasad, and Dr. Vinod Chandran last week. One panel discussion with our own in-house experts and other industry stalwarts on the statutory updates for business in COVID times, as well as we saw the launch of the KMA Women Managers Forum activities when we had a very decorated panel of speakers leading a discussion on the topic glass ceilings for women leaders, a myth or reality. We've also seen the new revamped and recreated KMA News magazine that was released during the first month itself, and the reception to the same has been very encouraging. If anyone here has not seen or received the print version, and if you wish to receive the subsequent copies, please get in touch with KMA office to get your address included in the mailing list. Also, please remember to send in your comments and feedback to the editor who is present here, along with the editorial committee chairman, to help them make the magazine even better. This year, under the leadership of our program committee chair and past president, Mr. S.R. Nair, we have conceived and launched a startup conversation series called the StartCon panel discussion. The first one we saw Mr. Sujit Bhaskaran of Gigs Board India and Ms. Fauzi Nizam of Cutie Pie Cakes last month. In fact, it was on the same day, 21st of November. Today is 21st of December. And we have the second in the series for you here now. In fact, it's a very favorite session for me personally, as I too was once a startup entrepreneur way back in 1998, when the word startup was not in vogue. Survived and grown over the past over 22 years, I can very well say that. Between what I started from and where I stand now, a lot of water has flown. And adapting to changing situations was the key to the transformation that happened to my own business as it exists somewhat successfully now. Having said that, startups are redefining the Indian economy. With its favorable demography, being the youngest nation in the world, open economic environment, and with a culture of entrepreneurism, India is highly conducive to entrepreneurs. However, we all know that India's startup economy is not showing the desired success, and many startups die in its infancy. Despite India's strength, as many as 90% of startups fail within the first 5 years itself. It is found from experience that many startups lack pioneering innovation based on new technologies or unique business models. Many survey results reveal that startups can exploit a range of attributes and advantages unique to India's economic openness as a major business advantage, and so is the availability of India's skilled workforce. Despite the country's large market size and robust startup activity, India's startup companies comprise only 4% of globally recognized unicorns, the so-called $1 billion or more companies. It is not known to all of us that most of the venture capitalists believe that India's startups struggle to succeed because their executives or the founders do not receive adequate mentoring from experienced leaders of established companies, incubators, investors, and organizations like management associations. Although numerous startup accelerators have been formed in India, As part of public-private partnerships, mentoring typically remains informal and voluntary. This is where KMA is trying to play a role by bringing in some of the successful entrepreneurs from multiple domains to come and share their success stories to inspire and guide startup companies and those aspiring to be startup entrepreneurs. As part of our new annual theme of spearheading responsible management, our stalwart leaders in house are working on various other ways and means to encourage and support the startup ecosystem and entrepreneurs. Today, we have two youngsters who have already made their mark and making waves through a multitude of recognitions that they are receiving from all across. Mr. Joy Sebastian, founder and CEO of TechGensia Software Technologies Private Limited, who founded the online conferencing solution vConsole, and he has won accolades and recognition from none other than the Prime Minister and the Government of India. And Mr. George Sakria, founder and CEO of Technosol Private Limited, who founded X Travel Money, an online forex aggregator, who has already won the KMA award for the best startup way back in 2017. On behalf of the managing committee at KMA and all present here, may welcome these two startup icons to this StartCon session. I also extend my hearty welcome to all the past presidents, many of them are present here, members of the Managing Committee and Executive Committee, Senior Vice President Nirmala Lilly, Vice President ABK, members of KMA, other LMAs who are present here, student members, members of the media, and all invited guests. Welcome to this edition of StartCon. So without further ado, let me invite our Program Committee Chair and past President, Mr. S.R. Nair, to introduce our two speakers and engage them in a conversation to make us understand their winning ways and their own formula to success. Over to you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, President Madhav. President Madhav, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for the opportunity, and once again, a great welcome to Joy Sebastian as well as George, and along with all the stalwarts of KMA who are watching the scene. Let me do an introduction of these two gentlemen, and then we will go into the question and answer sessions. Okay, I'll start with Joy Sebastian. Joy Sebastian is a co-founder and the CEO of TechGensia Software Technologies Private Limited, and he hails from Alleppey. And his enterprise is located in Infopark at Cherthala, that is Pallipuram Cherthala. He is a first generation learner in his family, his father being a fisherman and his mother being a homemaker. After completing his MCA from TKM College in Kollam, he worked in an audio conferencing tools company in Kochi before turning entrepreneur, co-founding TechGensia Software at Infopark Cherthala. In August this year, TechGensia Software was declared as a winner of the grand challenge for developing video conferencing solution by the Government of India. The product called vConsole follows a compression standard based on block-oriented, motion-compensated integer DCT coding and provides good video quality at substantially lower bit rates without increasing the complexity of the design. The award of the grand was about 1 crore rupees. We have been reading a lot of him. Indeed, Joy Kerala is proud of you. Welcome to the session. Let me go to George Sakria. George Sakria is a founder, co-founder and CEO of X Travel Money TechSol Private Limited. And as he himself has close to 2 decades of banking and forex experience, having worked in blue chip companies and banks before turning an entrepreneur. X Travel Money, otherwise it is normally called as ETM, is effectively bringing the hyperlocal e-commerce model to foreign exchange and the remittance market by creating India's largest forex search engine. As an online aggregator and a marketplace for forex, ETM facilitates, that is X Travel Money facilitates booking forex services online at super low rates directly from the banks and the money exchanges. Okay, as the president was saying, had said, ETM was the best startup entrepreneur, technology startup entrepreneur winner of KMA some couple of years back. Welcome, George.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I'll start with Joy. I'll start with you. Is it okay if I go in English, Joy, or do you want me to
Yes,
make
yes.
it?
It
Fine.
is
Thank you very
fine.
much. Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Because Joy, it is a very interesting, very interesting reading that we have of you as the first learner from the family, somebody who has gone to school and college from the family, and then you went all the way up to doing a post graduation in computer applications. So it's a very interesting as well as a very encouraging and inspiring movement that you've done. Would you be able to tell us something on the background of there is nobody who at home who had learned, and you all alone take the initiative of going and learning and going to do post graduation in computer application? Will you give us a background of it, Joyce?
Yes, sir.
Please.
Definitely. Thank you, sir. First of all, thank you everyone for inviting me here
Yeah.
to hear me out. Thank you once again, and a very good evening. My family actually hailed from Alpi, and my father was a fisherman who is actually going for fishing for living, and my mother was a homemaker. Actually, there is a slight change in the narration. Like I had a brother.
Oh,
Actually,
I see. Okay, yeah.
He's elder to me, and he is 3 year elder than me. So he was studying before me, and he completed his what you call polytechnic diploma
Okay.
in mechanical engineering, and he got a job before me. So I got a support when I started my degree and all from my. But unfortunately, he died in an accident
Oh,
when I was studying in my post graduation. He was my support then, and he got a. I think his company's name was India Tex. Maybe you all heard about that company.
Yes. India Tech.
India Tex, who was actually doing JCB.
Right. In
The
fact,
first
Mr. Joseph
company
Philip
who
is
came
connected
with
to
the
that
JCB.
company. Yes.
Yeah. So he was working there, and unfortunately, I told you he met with an accident when he was working there, and it was only 1 year he worked there. But
Yeah.
then by his support, gradually I am following him, and I got a graduation in chemistry before I go into the post graduation computer applications. Before that, I tried for medicine in Kerala entrance. Then that time, actually medicine was very rare, and only 400 seats were there. So I tried the MBBS entrance, and I got admitted to the BHMS course, homeo medicine course in
Okay.
Chotanikara.
Ah.
And then I
Padiyar.
tried, then I tried the computer applications because of two of my friends who were uh, who were trying to get admitted to computer applications. Then computer applications was also a rare course then in Kerala.
Yes.
It was only 90 seats. And I also tried with the entrance, and I got admitted. Before that, I didn't even touch the computer, or I didn't touch anything before that, because my family background didn't allow me to go to computer or see computer. And at that point of time, it was very rare thing. In 1996, Kerala computer was just coming in.
Yes.
So that was my background. My family, the best thing they did was they tried to give the better education they can give us. Even though they were illiterate, they were very focused to give us as much as education they can give. And we tried with our capabilities and what we can do. And I think that was the best thing happened in my life with two illiterate parents. So that is why I am here, I think. They
Oh,
are
Joy,
the.
it's a very interesting input. Very sorry to hear about the accidental death of your brother. And also, you say that, okay, vacillating between going to medicine, getting admission in BHMS, then writing the entrance for the computer application. At the same time, not having learned or done anything on the computer, having done your undergraduation in chemistry.
Yeah.
So it's a little complex. But let me ask you this question. When you went into MCA, did you really think that, okay, there lies a future, or you just took a chance and went? And then what is your thinking?
The first priority was to get a job.
Okay. Okay.
Somewhere I need to get a job, and most of them are writing and saying that computer is the future. So I thought this is going to help me to find out a way to get out of these troubles, and I joined. That is the only focus. I didn't even thought of being an entrepreneur at any point of time. Yeah, I
Okay.
will be. Otherwise, if I am not getting a job here in computer science or as an engineer, I should have been teaching somewhere, because after I completed my MCA, I got an opportunity to be a teacher in a +2 school. I think
Okay.
it was, you all knew that name, Leothet, in the higher secondary
LMP.
school in
LMP.
Albi.
Yes.
Yeah,
A big
the
school.
most,
Very big school.
yeah, very big school. So I joined there after my computer applications post graduation, and then only I got a chance in Kochi, because I don't have any possibility to go to Bangalore and get a job, because I need to survive with my mother and father, who were very much disappointed and distressed after my brother's.
Brothers death. Brothers death.
So that was
Oh.
one thing. So it is all.
Okay, so it all says, actually, I would rather call you as a destiny's child. In a sense, I mean, I would rather put the word, because in a sense, I feel that, okay, you tried everything. The focus was getting a job. And particularly after the sad demise of your brother, you wanted to be with your parents and see that it is done. And what all that you wanted was a job. It is not whether it is in computer A or
Yeah,
B or C. So, but you had reached the by receiving the national award from the government of India and getting a grant of 1 crore of rupees. So I definitely marvel you. I mean, while I called you a destiny's child, I used it very positively, in the sense that, okay, that, see, because it says, see, the efforts has to have a result. Okay.
yes,
Second
sir.
is, the earning has to have an outcome. When you earn something, I mean, the earn means YEAR, not EAR. When you
Yeah,
earn
okay.
something, it must have an outcome. Yours is a very clear story of that earning and the efforts actually going hand by hand. Indeed, very interesting. Now, I would shortcut and come to the award, and then go back to in between a little later.
Yeah,
But tell
yeah.
me about this award, because every one of us is waiting to know, be console, and how did you get this award? So can you give us a description about how did you fetch the award actually for Be
Okay, sir.
Console?
The story goes back to my first job,
Yeah,
actually.
yeah,
That is why I came to this technology, because I got the job in one company called Avenir, which was
yeah.
fortunately a technology product company, which was not even in a thought process of any of the larger companies in India.
That's
Then
right.
in 2000, actually a Kottayam-based American Malayali James Joss started a company in Kochi.
Yeah.
It was in '97. He started a company in Kochi called Avenir, and that company actually focused on developing software products.
Right.
And I joined there in November 2000, and it was 20 years back.
Yeah.
And I got in touch with a product which is during the dial-up era of internet. They were trying to develop a product for video conferencing.
Okay.
2000. It was only audio then, but it was the primitive form of video conferencing.
Right.
And then I got a good technology team. I well versed with that technology by 2005. But unfortunately, the company failed because of the financial crisis after the 9/11 attack there in New York and all. So
Yeah.
they couldn't survive after 2005. And that guy, James Joss, actually, when I was leaving that company by financial crisis, that company's owner in America, who told me to start a company for him to develop something and continuing the development of this product. That is how I was an accidental entrepreneur. For him, I actually started this company in
Yeah.
2009.
Yeah.
Before that, I was working for him as a consultant in
Okay.
here individually. Then
Yeah.
I need to have more people, and I thought it should be a company. That is how I made a company in 2009, and it was just accidental entrepreneurship. It is not
Which
like
year was it? Which year was it, Joy?
2009. 2009.
2009. Okay. Right. Yes.
So I came to this technology, and I continued this technology for him first.
Okay.
But the struggles were there, because only one client was there, and this technology was not so popular then. video conferencing was not so popular.
Yep.
And the product was, I was actually struggling with continuing this product. But during this 2-3 years after I started the company, our team made a lot of footprints on internet regarding the research we are doing.
Okay.
So some of the companies from Europe and US, other companies inquired about our research, and we started getting good clients in video conferencing starting from 2014.
Very good.
And we were continuing with the video conferencing, but we couldn't find a client in Kerala or India, because most of the clients in who are paying for video conferencing was actually either corporates or government.
Yeah.
Entering into government is not so easy. It is through tender process, and the PQ pre-qualification criteria cannot be met by a small company like us.
Yes.
So we couldn't get into any of the tenders. Till 2019 or 2020 start, I was not thinking of getting any revenue from India.
Okay.
But I got revenues from Europe and US because of the royalty we were doing for them. Actually, our product were white labeled by European and US companies, and they were selling it there.
Okay.
So we were getting some royalty out of that. That is how we were surviving. And it was enough for continuing the research and all. After the COVID, actually, by the start of the COVID, we got a lot of more clients from Europe and US, because a lot of other domains started using video conferencing, like telemedicine, education segment. All of them started using video conferencing. So we are started getting more and more clients then. At that point of time, India announced a challenge for Make in India video conferencing in March 2020.
Yes.
And they planned it to be like a 5-month process from March 2020 to August.
Yes.
And they they started it in for the purpose of government officials to use a Make in India video conferencing, and take out the Zoom and other softwares, which is a
platforms.
cloud,
Yeah, that is right. Yes.
which is cloud based, and the government could not identify where the servers are, how they are traversing video and audio, how they are using it, whether it is safe or secure. Those kind of question marks were there. So government announced a challenge to get a Make in India video conferencing solution. So they announced a 1 crore rupee challenge, and it was a 3-phased challenge actually. First phase was the ideation stage, and in the ideation stage, we were supposed to propose our submission, the technology, the product, how it looks like, and the technology behind it, a detailed documentation of the product, and we submitted it. Even I was a bit hesitant to submit that, because I was thinking about the government things will be like the old one, the tender process, everything will be there.
Okay.
And I was, even though it is a challenge, I was thinking about some nepotism and all will be there. So I thought I didn't touch that, and I didn't waste time.
Yeah.
But my friends who knew me and my technology, they were persuading me to actually submit a proposal at least. So I submitted it. And after that, a while I heard about around 2,000 companies submitted the proposal.
Wow.
So I was thinking about Techgentia anyway, even not getting noticed.
Your chance is 0.01%, sort of.
There is no chance of getting noticed our proposal, because I prepared a lengthy proposal around 100 pages or so. So I thought it is, I just calculated 2000 into 100, how much it will be. Who are going to look at it
and read it?
For my surprise, I got a mail mid of April saying that you need to present this proposal before a jury to select it to the next stage. 30 companies were there in that presentation.
So out of 2030 companies were shortlisted, is it? Okay.
No. Out of 2000, 30 companies actually shortlisted.
Okay.
And the giants were there. Tech Mahindra was there. HP was there. Soho was there, and a lot of companies. So I thought it is not going to. Anyway, we got the proposal. Someone noticed, but it is not going to get to the next stage. But my surprise, in the presentation, the jury was very keen on our technology.
Okay.
So that gave me confidence, and we got selected to the next stage. It was the prototype stage. There, they selected 12 companies and awarded 5 lakh rupees each for developing the prototype. So the next stage was the jury will be coming on to our prototype, like the Zoom meeting we have right now. And they will look at the working of the functionalities, working and the technology of the product on our platform itself. That was the challenge in the prototype stage. So we got very good attention of the jury because they all came into meeting without any glitches. You know, video conferencing is
Yes,
a thing
yes, yes.
where a lot of components can make a lot of problems. It is
Yes.
not like the other software,
Understand.
other web applications or something like that. So I got a confidence that everyone, 20 jury members were there from eminent IITs, CDAC, those were the guys. So they came in without any glitch. So I knew that we were going to select the next stage after the prototyping stage. So
Okay.
they selected 5 companies and they awarded 20 lakh rupees for that product stage. And finally, we made a very good product out of our technology and expertise we had. And that is how this award came into. And now India government is partnering us as the official video conferencing partner for the government purpose. And they launched a service on our platform called Bharat VC.
Bharat VC. Okay. Yes.
Yeah, Bharat VC. Now running on vConsole platform. And nowadays, I think 150 plus meetings are happening on that platform. That
Every day.
Yeah, every day.
Okay.
With the different departments, different secretaries and all. We are seeing the analytics now, and it is growing very much. Now they
Great
are
story, great story, Joy. I think have you been sitting physically? We should have stood up and applauded. But ladies and gentlemen, join me in applauding this great guy. I mean, fantastic. I mean, the amount of hope that you have kept and the amount of technology that you have harnessed and a glitches-free demonstration that you have organized and then going into the prototype. And there again, you're showing that you have been an accidental entrepreneur. Again, Destiny's Child, accidental entrepreneur getting into competing with the likes of Tech Mahindra and Zoho. I think we can always understand it is not that very easy. Fantastic story. I would come back and ask you a lot of questions, but let me go to George. He's feeling a little bored and feeling a little neglected. I feel him. George, sorry, because it's such a fantastic story that we got engrossed with that. George, tell us, Joy, a moment. I'll be back with you. And George, okay. See, you have been a banker and you have been a forex guy, and you worked in blue chip companies and banks. Okay, and that by itself has been a fantastic possibility of a profession and a vocation. Point number one. Point number two, you went into your own entrepreneur, that is FinServ, that you have started a company before this. That was also doing better and well. And so what was this urge in you to go into an entrepreneurship, that was startup entrepreneurship with 2, 3, 4 guys who had just come out of the college? I think they were from Changanur, IHRD, Changanur Engineering College, and you just went with them to start this. So what was the motivation for a guy who is corporate-wise doing well as well as his own company was doing well to get into this and make this as your company and career? Will you give us some input about this, George?
Sure. Thank you, KMA. I started my career in 2003. I served Anil Ambani. I served Centurion Bank of Punjab. I served the PR Shetty.
Which is not a good name now to talk. Don't worry. Go ahead. You're granted. Okay.
Right. But he's still the billionaire.
Okay. Right.
So I headed the sales. I headed the treasury. I headed the exports on all of the foreign exchange and their export of currency notes. In 2010, my last corporate tenure was ADAG, Anil Ambani. So that time, Reliance Capital was not doing pretty well. So they were forced to shut down their services, especially on the equity and the foreign exchange business. The Reliance Capital decided to wind up, and they were growing, looking aggressive on the distribution and the wealth management, their mutual funds. So I know only one thing, that is either I would like to skip for another job or start a foreign exchange company. So I started my foreign exchange company in 2011. I took an Reserve Bank of India license.
Okay.
Last year, I successfully exited from the brick and mortar company which I have started. On 2016, I realized that we should have quite a big amount of capital to grow the branch network, the working capitals, everything. So on 2016 only, I was thinking, how we can switch this business into an online solution.
Okay.
Where me personally, like say I was having about nearly 15 years of experience that time. And I found that the customers, the money changers or the banks, they all are facing some kind of pain on acquiring customers, on documentation, on freezing it.
KYC parameters. Yes, yes, yeah.
Absolutely. Because foreign exchange, it's a highly regulated business.
Yes.
So, so I decided the technology is the only solution which we can give some kind of solution for all the entities who are looking for some solution in this side. So in 2016, I was with Vijay Baba, as mentioned earlier. So I
Yep.
met a young chap called Ajin Devi,
Mm-hmm.
who was into the IT and services. So I pitched my idea to him. So they conceived the idea. We decided to start a financial technology company where we will give solutions, services to the public, parallelly to the banks and the money changing network across India. So we have got three products, that is money transfers, selling forex cards, and exchanging foreign currencies who are coming to India or someone is going to India. So we were addressing a very fragmented market.
Mm-hmm.
On 2016, we were having a competitor, that was Book My Forex. Then big corporates started coming to the business, like Paytm, Make My Trip, GoEBO. Everyone have started their own foreign exchange company. Foreign exchange online solutions, giving online solution to their customer. But somehow I don't know. Whether it really didn't work well for them. But in this COVID season also, we gained good traction, especially on the outward remittance side. We served a lot of NRIs. We served a lot of students who were studying abroad. And we helped them to save a lot of money, which was being enjoyed by the banks. So we negotiated with banks, we negotiated with reputed the foreign exchange
companies. Yes, yeah.
for our customers, and we make sure that they got one of the best lowest rate to send money from India.
George, from whatever you have been telling, yeah, but incidentally, by the way, I suddenly realized that President Madhav, we are talking to two entrepreneurs from Alleppey. George is from Pulingun, Alleppey, and Joy Sebastian is from Alleppey. So somehow, I think Alleppey, normally we used to think that Alleppey is the last bastion where enterprises will go into. And now we have, even last time, Fauzi Nizam, she also is from Alleppey. So we are now seeing a lot of entrepreneurs coming out of Alleppey, incidental. Good. Now, George, there was a claim that X Travel Money has made as being the largest forex search engine. How can you make a claim like this, or if you had made a claim, how do you back it up?
The largest in the sense our vendor base, because we can serve every nook and corner in India.
Mm-hmm.
I will tell you the story of that. So, largest, because on foreign exchange, the currency exchange side, a physical store is mandatory to serve the customer.
Okay.
Because money transfer, okay, we can do the KYC, we can do the payment, everything online.
Yeah.
But for currency exchange, there is a physical door delivery or a physical presence is mandatory as a store.
Yes.
Either a bank or a money changing company. So we tied up with Muthoot Finance, Thomas Cook, Axis Bank, RBL. Say we have got about nearly 35 corporates in our wallet to serve our customers. So
Okay.
we aggregate this business. We will make sure that the customer who are accessing X Travel Money will be getting the benefit out of, and we will make sure that they will be treated well.
George, why did you call this X Travel Money? It's a very funny name. We could have, we have a Joy sitting in front of us calling Tech Gensia, and then having come out with a product called We Console, which gives us a lot of imageries. But X Travel Money, so what is the imagery of that? Will you be able to give us some idea as to why you named it X Travel Money?
I think the hard currency banknotes been spelled in Middle East and India only as forex or foreign exchange.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Right. Yeah. If you are going to European countries or US, this hard currency bills or the banknotes are called travel money because
travel money. Okay.
Right. Because they access the foreign currency notes only at the time of their travel.
Understand.
Because if from US, from New York, someone needs to travel to Europe, they need euro currency. So that is called the travel money, which they are taking from the local bank or an authorized dealer.
Yes.
So we named as travel money. So we didn't get the domain.com on travelmoney.com.
Okay, so fine. So it is X. So you put the X behind.
Yeah, exchange your travel money. That's the concept.
Right. Good. Thank you very much. I think that confusion is now over. Now, I just wanted to ask you one more question that is related to you saying that while there were big players like Paytms and Go Ibibo, etc., had come into the market with Make My Trip and others who have been playing in the forex market. Of course, we have the physical companies like Thomas Cook, etc., playing very big in that outcome itself. How come on the online space they did not do well? What is your inference of that? While you, a struggling organization, a startup organization, is able to come to with the maximum number of outlets across in the form of a marketplace, but how come these people, they are big players, Paytm, etc., are big players? They're today valued at tens of billions of dollars. So how did they not succeed in that? Is it lack of focus or is it something else?
Not because of the lack of focus. It may be the market which they were eyeing is yet to be got matured. But the domain knowledge or the domain experience, it's mandatory. And because in-depth knowledge on what's happening with the customer, the KYC, the payment, even though you say, two banks are there or two money changers are there, their internal compliance, their internal policies will be different. So we need to discuss and we need to give solutions for them. And so I think the corporates which they started this foreign exchange solution to their customers, they failed to know the vendor's pain.
Okay.
So that's one of the reason where they were not able to succeed in launching their product or making it success on their.
George, I have another question. That is, see, like when we used to go outside, when we go to the airport or wherever we just get the forex from, I used to see the percentage of exchange that they charge used to be very high. Whereas when you come to an online enterprise like yours, in the percentages are very low. You must be actually living on 0.25% and 0.35%, etc., which is very, very low. So how can you survive on such lower percentage? Whereas in the brick and mortar form, the percentages were very high. In fact, there had been instances when you go to the forex banks in airport, they used to charge even up to about 8 to 9%. I had seen actually. So when in the brick and mortar side, the percentage of profitability is higher, here it is much lower. How do you survive on this 0.25% and bringing it to the customer unless you have huge volume of business that is happening?
You're absolutely sir. I know a lot of people who have searched different websites to book their international tickets from Cochin to Dubai to save 1,000 or 1,500 rupees.
Yes.
And simply spend an deal of foreign exchange at their airport counter.
The counter itself, they lose 1,500 rupees just like that, isn't it?
Definitely. Because they were very, they invested a lot of time to save the 1,500 money on booking an Emirates tickets, but indirectly they are losing some money at the airport counters who at the time of exchanging, or if they are accessing the leading banks in the town. So we made a solution like, say, we can cater them on the same day, and we will deliver the currencies at their doorstep at a super low rate.
That's a fantastic convenience that you made. Actually, unless for the volume, it should have been a win-win situation. Unless you come to like millions of clients, it would have come to a win-win solution. But otherwise, from the client side, from the customer side, it's a heavy win because they get their complete conveniences taken care of, and they get the forex at very, very pittance of a commission that they pay. I'll come back to you, George. Let me go to George Sebastian. Okay, George, I have some pertinent questions to ask you about your company's growth. I'll come to you that. Let me go to George Sebastian for the time being. Joy, actually, now you said about 150 meetings happened on your platform by the government. It is called Bharat VC. As far as governmental usage is concerned, they are collaborating with you. Now, I actually, when we were reading the news in August and we were actually discussing among ourselves, and without even knowing you, feeling very proud of you, actually, really speaking, without even knowing you, feeling very proud of you. Incidentally, by the way, I have known James very well, your former boss, Avenir. In fact, my erstwhile company had supplied the entire infrastructure to him. That's how I know him. And I also know Anita and boss, they have been the local people who have been running it. So that's okay, fine. So coming back to this one, so we were discussing and feeling proud of you as a Mallu product, a Malayali entrepreneur who winning it among these 2,000 people who had applied. We were also thinking that lots of us will start using your solution. No, the proliferation of solution locally by enterprises, by KMA, by TAI, by many other organizations. I was expecting that to happen, but then that did not. Is it because people did not approach you, or is it because you were focused on serving the government, or is it contractually so? Why was it that WeConsole is not being used by people like us? In fact, I feel, Madhav, we should have been doing this conference on WeConsole, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Tell me, why is it that such a thing did not happen?
Actually, there were some problems related to the what you call self-service available on the website right now. That is not there. To download and create an account, that kind of self-service is not there, and paying online is not possible. But we started our rolling out of software to the customers, especially small, large, medium-scale enterprise customers already. And we got some customers from Kerala itself already.
But what prevents you from doing this? If I go to Zoom.us and then join the meeting, why can't you do like that, Joy?
Actually, we were working on it because our focus was to finish the requirements that came after. Actually, after this award was announced, we got a lot of requirement changes from the government itself, because they want to exactly replace Zoom.
Okay.
What Zoom is providing, we need to provide. Okay. Our focus was to give a new, different solution. But people are not liking the change. And they were looking at how Zoom is looking, how Zoom is doing this. That is the exact way they want. And government people, most of the government people were urging us to do that way. and we were finishing those particular things, and our team is very small. If you consider Zoom, it is around 10,000 people company, and we are only 60 people company. That's a difference, and we need to grow up, and we need to go with the demands of the customers. So we were not able to develop that portal, and the technology, the exactly video conferencing technology is a complex one.
Yes.
And comparing that, the developing the portal to download and creating account is very easy for us.
Yes.
But our focus was on the technology, and
the team was smaller.
Yeah, that was the problem. Now we started selling it through our sales channel. There are marketing people now, right now, calling up people, and KSFE started using it right now.
Okay.
Of course, Spices Board in Kochi started using it. C&AG, one of the largest customer we got, the Controller and Auditor General Office, they are using 500 accounts right now from our
that is a constitutional authority using your software.
Yeah, actually, those kind of large customers are coming in place right now, and we are growing very fast right now.
That very glad to know that. At the same time, if you really look at Zoom, because of these COVID challenges, the company's market capitalization went skywards. Even sky was not the limit. It even penetrated through the sky and went up. And the guy who started it, called Eric Yuan, he had become a billionaire, multi-billionaire actually. So we were actually looking forward to Joy Sebastian becoming a Eric Yuan of Kerala, South India and India. So why, that only I asked you this. But I think you should, because isn't it? You can only use those things only at the right time. So don't you think that it is time that you increased, established and then see that, okay, you take up this market rather than going through only one channel? Everybody should go to the site and say that, okay, vconsole.in, and then they should download it and use it.
We also identifying that problem. A lot of inquiries are coming like that. And in January, first week, we will be launching those sites, and the portal who can self-service people, and then they can just create the account and pay it and use it online. There is no problem. That is happening.
Can I be a little critical and telling you don't feel bad on me? I'm just trying.
Yeah.
I think you have done all these things. You have done this wonders as an entrepreneur. Of course, as a reluctant entrepreneur that you started as. But there should be some more aggression in capturing the market and really taking it forward. That's what the IT business, that's what the technology business is all about. Why don't you do that, Joy? Or why you feel so happy? Look at your face. You feel so tremendously happy with whatever you have achieved now and sitting in. I think we will want to definitely see you as the Eric Yuan of India.
Definitely, sir. I don't want to give pressure on my team because they are core technical team, and as I tell you, this is the problem. The team is focused on the core technology.
Okay.
As a technology entrepreneur, maybe George may be identifying that problem. We were a research and development company. Actually.
Yes.
By August 30th, we became a product company.
Yes.
That is the problem. That is the problem.
You're slowly digesting that now.
Yeah. That transition didn't happen in our mind actually.
Okay.
That is what happened. But we are trying to resolve that issue, and come out as quick as possible and make the best out of us. That is what is.
Joy, I think you should really push KMA to use your console as our channel, and we will take incumbent upon us to see that you are proliferated. I mean, the amount of PR or amount of publicity that we can also give you, I think you should do it. I was actually telling some of my friends, in fact, I was telling Bala the other day that we should be using local entrepreneurs' product rather than going for Zoom.us.
Next time onwards, you can start using this. There is no
very
problem.
good on that. On that. Thank you very much.
Also, I should say, you can get the best video conferencing solution out of vConsole. There is no doubt about it.
Joy, that has to be there. 2,000 people entering, coming to 20, coming to 5, and becoming the winner across the country and contesting against the Mahindras of the world and the Zohos of the world, still winning. So you don't have to tell us. We know that this has to be a wonderful solution. We are very seriously looking forward to using it.
Yeah, definitely. Next time KMS meeting will be on weekend, so there is no doubt.
Great, Madhavji, take note. Okay, right. Yeah, George. One question on to you back. I'm coming back, George. See, many of these companies, George, like see, as I've told you last time itself, the percentage profitability being low, you have to scale up into millions of clients and millions of transactions a day to arrive at a profitability that huge people will want to invest in you. Okay, now how do you circumvent it? That I think that as a challenge, you must be really finding it difficult to move from a startup to a stand-up mode and from stand-up to a scale-up mode, isn't it? So what are your thoughts on this, and how do you want to circumvent that?
Sir, it is by nature the foreign exchange trade, the margins are low. But
Okay.
if you are comparing the profit which we are earning, and if you're comparing with an offline store, the net revenue, we will be on the higher side.
Net revenue. Okay.
Right. So because our operational cost, if you're comparing with an offline store and because indirectly we are having about nearly 8,500 stores online live for us,
Okay.
who can deliver our products, who the users can access 8,500 stores at any time, any day. So on the profitability, we uh, we are looking on high volume transactions, because our target audience is not I mean, the normal leisure customers are definitely but still we focus upon the students payments, like say if someone needs to have
I heard close to about how many about 1 point how many lakhs of people go out of the country to learn, George, as per your statistics available?
on a nearly 4 lakh students
Oh, I see. Okay.
study on a year.
Okay.
So an average, definitely an average, it will take about nearly $25,000 to 50 or $1 lakh it will cost a student to remit India from India to abroad.
Yeah.
So that's the big piece of cake which we are eyeing, and we educate the students, educate uh, the public through our blogs. Our growth was, say, we have got about nearly 65,000 users till now.
Okay. Okay.
Uh, and if you're looking upon their experience, you can just access our Trustpilot
I
reviews.
did. I did. So you have got a fantastic ratings. Yes, I'd seen that. Yes.
Right. Say about nearly 98% of people have voted us excellent and good.
Yeah.
That means the 4-star and the 5-star.
Yeah.
So we created that customer for a lifetime. So we are planning to come up with more channels, more remittance channels. That means we are planning to start the inbound transfers from Canada to India, US to India, Singapore to India, Australia to India, the same channel, where because they got a trust on us, on our brand. And we are coming up with more products where we can continue their services on their lifetime.
George, for going into those big numbers from 65,000 users that you have to millions of users that has to happen, it needs a lot of marketing, it needs a lot of networking, it's a lot of visibility and a lot of funding. So what about the funding scenario as far as you're concerned?
Till now, we didn't take a growth capital from anyone, like any angels or any VCs till now.
Yeah.
We availed because KSIDC, they have availed a loan for us, and with that capital which we were able to invest in a lot of marketing activities, and definitely it is turning good for us. So I trust 2021 definitely we will go for a VC funding, that means the growth capital. Parallelly, we are getting some kind of acquisition or strategic investment proposals from the corporate, where 2021 will decide, I mean, how to proceed.
Okay, so I ask you this question. It's a painful question, like because I asked this question taking reference from our President Madhav. He said out of 100 clients, 100 startups. Okay, only 5 makes it big. Are you confident that you will be in the 5 bracket?
Sure, definitely.
Okay, very good. On to that, Joy. So, where to now? You have come this far, and now where to? What is your ambition? Where do you want to go?
There are tons of products now available in the market, like Google Meet,
Yeah,
Zoom.
plenty. Yes.
Yeah, so there are a lot of products like us in the market, but we are claiming that ours is a premium product,
Okay.
and our focus is to go to enterprises
Hmm.
and government like customers.
Hmm.
So we are getting those kind of inquiries right now, like Indian Navy, the Coast Guard. We felt those are going to be very large customers rather than just going to single
Users.
users.
Yeah.
CAG kind of customer is a 500 user license
Yes.
for us. So that kind of customers will give us a lot of, I think, as George said, they will be going to be lifetime customers if we are
Yeah.
going to
In
give.
fact, when you were saying, I was looking at Admiral Muralidharan's face and it was smiling, beaming, end to end, actually. Yeah,
Yes.
I see that. Okay, that is right. Okay. So, see, this is a case, with George and Joy being around. I wish the time is a factor, but then we have to limit our questions. I'm limiting my questions with this. I'll come back, but then I need to take questions from the audience as well. So please shoot your questions in the chat mode. I can pick up from the chat mode and ask. We can't open it up because that will become a cacophony. I have a question from Shahina Nizar. Joy, this question is to you. She's asking, what is your advice to upcoming startups?
as I told you, everyone, there are a lot of tremendous opportunities. If you have enough courage and if you have enough, definitely, as George said, if I would start a thing in Forex, that is not going to happen. George may not be starting something in video conference. That is not going to happen.
Okay.
If you have that kind of enough knowledge and enough aggression to know what it is all about, the things happening, how it is, then you have a lot of opportunities, because what we are using right now, among the software tools or hardware tools, whatever it is, I am seeing a lot of improvement opportunities are there. That is going to give everyone an opportunity. If you can improve the tools, what we are using it out of what we have right now. That is it. It is not the supreme product what we are using. Every products are not supreme yet. There are a tremendous lot of opportunities that is coming out after COVID, especially. The things have changed a lot. We need to have new devices, new technology, new services to survive
Yeah.
here.
So Shahina Nizar, that is the answer to you. Now, let me come to you, George. Question is from Balakrishnan, our Vice President. Okay, he is asking question to George Sakria. One of the case studies to blockchain technologies is to resolve problems on cross-country transfers. Okay. Do you have any plans to use blockchain technology for bypassing cumbersome KYC problems?
There is no solution for bypassing the KYC solution. Blockchain is a very smart technology which everyone, not in the financial technology industry, it's a super technology which came up. I'm just against the cryptos of the world, but I give 100 out of 100 for the blockchain technology, the speed, the accuracy, and the safety which they give. Definitely, the foreign exchange, the remittance, every countries have got their own restrictions, their guidelines, their policies, laundering policies, everything. So even a lot of companies like Ripples, they have started the blockchain, or they start powering banks on the blockchain technology for the cross-border payment. That means a parallel to the SWIFT, that the traditional transfers where the intermediary or the foreign banks used to communicate. So bypassing that, lots of companies have come up. Let more users or the banks come to the platform. Definitely, we have got an eye on giving some solutions to the end users through the blockchain technology.
Yeah, I am seriously looking at questions, but the questions are hard to come by. Is it because of technology they are not asking questions? I don't know.
I normally don't ask questions when SR is actually moderating and giving the question answers. But then I'm forced to ask this question to Mr. Joy Sebastian because I was just parallelly going through the website of vConsole also, and just understanding, because I hadn't taken a serious look at that product, even though we had discussed in our offline and online meetings in KMA itself about your company and the award. I'm seeing a very familiar trait in you and in the company. I mean, if I may make a comment like that, being from TCS, when we were there in the 90s, our guru, Mr. FC Kohli, used to say the same thing. We are a R&D company. We are into technology. And then there were a lot of these smarties who came from the side and just started making waves and making a lot of names and fame. And we were actually stuck at some point of time. There was a big revolt also happening on one side, and finally that when the marketing started catching up, when they actually gave some kind of impetus to the marketing side of TCS, you saw the result later on. It took a while, when we started in 68 to where we are in 2020. In fact, the last 10 or 15 years is where actually we made the mark. When the marketing
Yes.
of the concept and the product and the technology became really known to the outside world. Till then, it was Infosys, it was the Mindtree, it was the all kinds of names we can say were making waves. Am I seeing something like that in you? Because are you getting stuck somewhere? Because you have a product, as SR rightly said, time is of essence. Katula Puttuttu എന്ന് മലയാളത്തിൽ പറഞ്ഞതുപോലെ തന്നെ, because there is a wave which is going in, and I believe you need to actually go rather show that aggression, like the way the Kohlis are, the Virat Kohlis are showing now. Versus the Rahul Dravids or even Sachin Tendulkar for that matter, very decent, very homely kind of people versus the aggressive people. Don't you think so? I mean, because
riding the wave. You should be riding the wave.
Yeah,
Yes.
I am also identifying, but the problem here is 2-3 problems are there. One is the technology is a bit different from what Zoom is doing.
Okay.
First of all, so our technology will be a process intensive on the server side, but the quality will be very supreme rather than the videos what we are seeing on Zoom.
Okay.
So the technology is process intensive. That means you are going to bleed a little bit more than Zoom and Google Meet is bleeding. One thing. So we need to compete with a giant. If we are going to the market like that, we are going to bleed a bit more, but we have little capital with us. So to survive in that market, it is a bit difficult, first of all. So that's why we just load it down. And rather going into the public market, people are, and also Zoom is giving you 40 minutes free. That will serve the whole purpose of small meetings, including the stand-ups and all. Everyday stand-ups and all Zoom will do with the free market. We cannot give it for free, at least, first of all. So we are identifying that the online education market is the segment we can tap on right now.
Okay.
If we are looking at it. But the problem is, there also we are facing the problem like Google Meet is giving it for free.
Okay.
So we cannot compete with that giant. So we identified that if we are tapping the enterprise market, where people are concerned about the quality, rather than just seeing the thumbnail, they need to see the face expressions, they need to see the elements of face in the meeting, then there is a possibility. That is where we are now trying to tap, and especially in the private segment, we couldn't tap anyone yet, first of all. But
Joy, that is good. Very rightly said. But what Madhav said is a little different. I'll tell you why. See, you can create your own niche, particularly enterprises, government put together can be a huge market for you. You don't have to look at these single individuals and compete with, of course, Google and the Zooms. But even there, Joy, you need to really ramp up, You need to really ramp up. And sitting in Chetala, Cochin, etc., are you in the radar? Are you in the radar of this big money? Are you in the radar of SoftBank? Are you in the radar of Jack Ma? Are you in the radar of those people who would like to invest in you and take you forward? That's what the question Madhav actually raised.
I don't think none of them looked at me yet,
No,
But
Joy answered that in between by saying that, the bleeding part of it, and we are small. I think you got to get out of that. You got to get out of that. You got to get out of that. Yeah.
definitely.
I'm sure. All the best, Joy. It's really good.
Yeah.
Really good.
Last question to George. George, now the forex market. Do you really see any major movers and shakers coming in the forex market now? Because as you said, big corporates are not playing in the forex market like the Paytms and others. Do you really anticipate any big movers and shakers coming in, or you growing from organically from startup to stand up to scale up? What is your views on this? This is the last question to you.
Definitely, a lot of players are eyeing up on this market. The global players like TransferWise, Western Union have already started this on the online space. TransferWise have started in India, but they are running on a specific limit prescribed by the RBI, like $5,000 or $7,500. That's the maximum which they can serve. Where on our case, as an Indian company, through a bank, we can remit up on nearly $250,000 on a single transaction.
Yes, I understand.
So definitely, we are looking forward for more big players to come in, more competition to be in the market, and soon, as I said, I mean, soon we will raise our growth capital. We will scale up, because now the product, the ecosystem, everything, it's favoring to us, and we have got the good time to fly.
Thank you very much. Before I hand you over to Madhav, I have a suggestion to you in the capacity as a mentor. Both of you should fix up time. Here, there is a person called A. Balakrishnan who had asked a question to Joy Sebastian also. You will get his, I will send Bala's number to you. You should fix up a time and meet him and get mentored by him, because there are some glass ceilings that you need to break, Joy. And also, George, you need to really get connected in a larger ambit. So these two things can be done. Bala, on your behalf, I'm actually making them to come and meet you, and then get them to connect to the next gear. Okay. I have really enjoyed talking to you, Joy. I have really enjoyed talking to George Sakriya as well. I have Kakatolayan questions with me to ask, but time is the essence, and I think I personally feel that I have not done justice to both in terms of question. Had it been one, I would have asked much more questions. But I'm so happy to meet you. I wish you all the very best. Joy, we will do WeConsult as far as KMA is concerned. That promise you have to retain. And back to you. I bring you back to Madhav. Madhav, all yours.
Thank you so much, SR, and thank you, Joy and George. I mean, as I mentioned at the beginning in the introduction, this particular series of the StartCon conversation or the panel discussion I mean, initially meant to give ideas to other startup entrepreneurs also on how to get onto the winning ways. And also a role of the stalwarts at KMA to come forward and do some mentoring and guidance given to those entrepreneurs who need that. And I'm so happy to see that even the panelists who came here who have done so well with their founding concepts and the way in which they are doing it, and are getting some kind of mentoring from KMA straight away also, because there is no end to learning, there is no end to getting support, and this is something which we are all proud of, the way in which you have come out, both of you coming up so well with your winning ways. And definitely we need to really go to that horizon which is up there. And when I said about the TCS and the other companies comparison, it was always we had that comfort level in that enterprise serving solutions, the projects versus products kind of a thing. That is where actually we need to actually break that glass ceiling which SR was talking about. And definitely by meeting up people like Balakrishnan, SR and others, both of you will gain a lot. And way forward is really, really bright and sunny. I'm sure you will make it great. Thank you so much for being here and sharing that such a wonderful story of Joy, especially coming from the scratches, from that kind of a background, and dreaming and becoming an accidental entrepreneur, as you rightly said. And George, pulling out of your other employee role and making it big into this ex-travel money and answering those questions of the travel money part of it, and really good. And may I wish you all the very best in your journey, which has just started, I must say, and you got a long way to go, and you will go the full length is what our wish is, our dream is, and we'll all be proud of you. And Joy, I take your word for getting vConsole being used by us. Let us try it out at the earliest. Jojo, please be in touch with Joy and try and get it installed. And I don't know how we can get it to the members also, so that they can also log in. We'll discuss that. So thank you so much. And before I hand it over to our secretary for the vote of thanks formally, let me inform you that it's Christmas time. Definitely, we are going to have a problem with attendance. So we're taking a break for the next 1 week. We have the next program on 29th of December, just before New Year sets in. That's going to be another leader talk session by Dr. Sandeep K. Krishnan of IIM Indore. He's going to talk to us on 29th of December. In fact, we are waiting for a date from our Governor of Kerala also to address our delegates very soon. That I'll inform you very shortly. So please keep watching the notices and notifications from KMA and be there. Maybe in larger numbers, because obviously Christmas was an excuse today and the schools are closed, so we didn't have student delegates also coming in today. In any case, we look forward to better sessions in the coming weeks. Over to Honorary Secretary Jomon for the formal vote of thanks. Jomon, are you there?
Thank you. Yeah. Respected President of KMA, R. Madhav Chandran, other managing committee members, and the two startup entrepreneurs, Joy, George, other participants who are 50 plus online with us on screen, and many of them who are on YouTube. It is really nice to be on screen with these two very, very brilliant startup entrepreneurs. Joy is as sweet as Kinder Joy and is a wonder boy. Rhymingly, if I can say, I'm sitting in Tamil Nadu, Salem. It was really nice. I joined in a little late, but the story is very, very exciting, very, very inspiring. Coming up from a small town in Charthala and having captured the eye and attention of the union government and many other players in the public sector. So if you look at him, he was smiling always, all smiles, and as I was saying, how happy he is. And a lot of questions he pretended to be answering, but then the judicious, shrewd entrepreneur that Joy has many things which he didn't want to share, I'm sure. That's the way, and a lot of ripples are happening. And then it is not yet time to reveal all that to KMA or forum like this. Joy, wonderful. We are really proud of you. And we have been hearing the stories about you. So KMA post-COVID, you should come forward and physically interact with us. It's not that we cannot use vConsole. vConsole is real good, and then to become a consolation for people who have been set apart by this pandemic. You could bring them together, and a lot of progress we have made. Sure that you would foray into public sector, private sector as well. And the future is really bright, because this has become the order of the day. Even post-COVID, I think many of us, irrespective of where we are sitting in here, and this is the time we really say that geography has become history and coming together from wherever it could be, from Charthala. I'm in Namakkal near Salem. Somebody could be there online with us from New York or London, without taking Forex from George Sack. And so that is really wonderful. Thank you very much for joining us this evening and sharing your. So there are two ways with the StartCon, startup conversation, which the president and program committee chair SR Nair has conceived, is with a view to hearing from you, as the president rightly said, to get inspired not only by us for the many startup entrepreneurs who would be watching you. Plus, from mentoring perspective, KMA this year, we have the baseline is spearheading responsible management. So, as startups, probably from a mentoring perspective as well, we could be of support to you. SR has already put you on to ABK, we call him, Balakrishnan, who is a techie, and he has seen through the growth of Geojit, which is incidentally, the first internet stockbroker in the country, like, the first, like Joy has done. So that would do wonders, and I'm sure that as you go by, adding to what President and SR said, developing the business model is in place, so revenue streams followed by good protocols and practices. Then compliance is very important. The legal structure in our country is complicated. Scaling up slowly, moving on to evaluation, and then comes the big funding and all that. So there are prospects everywhere. So probably, sir, Joy wanted to say that, sir, I think he is still, in that stage, but the potential is huge, as directed by both of them. All the best to you, Joy.
In gymnastics, you can actually
Yes, I know.
And if you're an agile entrepreneur, you should be a gymnast. You should not be actually sitting and doing it.
Appreciate, understand. Okay, Joy, all the best to stretch your leg before you sit down, but be careful. Okay, right. All right. And then George is more composed, and he is waiting for that real explosion in terms of businesses and value to happen. That'll surely happen, because now people are so desperate to travel but can't do cross-border travel. Even in tourism, what's happening is outbound travel is not happening, so it's coming to the domestic tourism. But I'm sure that once the travel boom picks up, which will surely happen, that is how the figures indicate. With that, I'm sure that your product and services would be really loved and sought after. I'm sure that, because SR did make a mention about Thomas Cook. The brick and mortar models have collapsed, actually. When Thomas Cook collapsed, we had lakhs of thousands and thousands of travelers getting stranded at various airports. And today, online safe, secure solutions are what people are looking for. So your name is X Travel Money. That's really good exchange for travel. It is gelling so very well. So wish you all the very best. I'm sure that both of you would blossom forth in your respective area of services, in your respective domain, so to say, to borrow a term from IT. So wish you all the very best, and thank you from all of us here, from the president, from the management, managing committee, SR Nair, the program coordinators. Thank you so much. And a big thank you for SR so brilliantly moderating, swapping between Joy and George to back. But how do I say? Cherthala to Alapi and Alapi to Cherthala. A feel of taking a houseboat from Cherthala to Alapi. It's really nice, SR. Thank you, as usual. You're in your unique self. And to the Secretariat, ED, Jojo Jacob, and the team there, Prajit, all of them, for coordinating this program so very well. So stay tuned, stay safe, and next program, as President said, is 29th, but in between, we have the Christmas coming up. So let me take this opportunity as I wind up to wish you all a very, very Merry Christmas, but getting together in large numbers still, one has to be careful. This Christmas is going to be cautious, but let us not forget to celebrate. Thank you so much. Good night to everyone.
Thank you, Secretary, for joining in from Salem to deliver that nice vote of thanks, and of course, wishing all of us a good Christmas also. But before ending the session, let me just show you the memento which is coming your way, Joy and George. This is something specially curated by KMA, the signature memento of KMA, which shows the proof of you being here today. There it is. Both of you talking at the KMA.
Instantaneous photographs.
The KMA presence will be there on your showcase or on the table. It'll reach you by courier very soon. Thank you once again for that very nice session, and we will be in touch. And definitely, we look forward to a great future for both the companies, and to take pride in that, KMA will be there with you. Thank you all, and thank you all the delegates who are present here for being there, and wish you all a very, very Merry Christmas. And let us all look forward to a great new year coming up, forgetting about this